watching Numbskull News, and today let's talk about the ACC. Can it be saved? Can you be saved? How about no? I seriously doubt it. Now, I'm minding my own business and I'm watching Coos' Corner. Love Coos. Coos is a great guy. Great guy, great channel. Subscribe to him. Throw some money his way, folks. He does good work. But can the ACC Network, can that save the ACC? No. The ACC Network is based off the linear model, which is going down. All right, you can pull up Mark Cuban on the Draymond Green podcast. He'll tell you. There's been tons of articles. There's been CNBC documentaries and stories done. The ACC Network, once they lose Florida State and Clemson, think about it. How much value... Is it out of bounds for me to think that Florida State and Clemson make up at least half the value of the ACC Network? They have that many fans? No, I don't think that's irresponsible to say or wrong. I think that's roundabout correct. So if half your value's gone, and ESPN made what, $150 million on the ACC Network last year? That's not bad. I mean, think about it. ESPN, they make, a few $1 billion a year. So, that's a nice little blip on the spreadsheet. It's not really that big, but it's there. Now, cut it in half. You think ESPN gives a rotten shit about that? You don't think they'll make that money up by having Florida State and Clemson in the SEC? You don't think they'll make that money up by squashing the ACC and having the best brands left go to the Big 12? Of course they will. So, that doesn't really matter. It's not that big a deal, people. Y'all acting like, 150 million, or... Like I said, it's based on the linear model, plus when you lose Florida State and Clemson, it's toast. So, that's not exactly something that's not a savior coming down from the mountain to save you. Next up, well, how about these politicians in the state of North Carolina? They can save the ACC. They've invested $100 million. No, they haven't. They've invested $15 million. They invested $100 million on tourism and tourism dollars and things that can help bring people in to spend money in the state of Carolina. $15 million of that has to do with the ACC. That's not going to stop the University of North Carolina from leaving, or the Board of Governors allowing it, especially if they are a package deal with North Carolina State. And I get it, they probably actually don't want to lose the ACC, but if the ACC is going down, folks, if it's more than Florida State and Clemson, if it's Miami that also leaves, and then, I don't know, I'm not saying North Carolina would be the first to bolt, because I don't believe they have an invite to the Big Ten of the SEC coming up. I think that's wrong, and if I'm right about that's wrong, only the Big 12 remains an option. And no, will they jump at the Big 12 right away? Absolutely not. But what happens if Louisville jumps? What happens if Pitt jumps? Virginia Tech? What if after those schools leave, you got NC State banging on the door saying, hey, Board of Governors, we got to get the hell out of here. The ACC is going down. We and UNC can go to the Big 12. Duke can also go to the Big 12. Let's go before, the spots get filled up or whatever. That's kind of some of the stuff that's going to happen. It's like, that's why everyone keeps using the metaphor of dominoes. The first domino, the second domino to fall. Because that's exactly what it is. Once you tap the first one over, they all start falling all over the place. You can't stop the nuclear fallout when the nuke drops. All you can do is run to higher ground. Run out of the affected area. That would be the Big 12. Because there's not going to be a ton more expansion out of the SEC or Big 10. It's not going to be 4 teams going to one, 4 teams going the other. That's some pie in the sky bullshit. Ain't happening. And I know everyone's trying to bend over backwards. Everyone's trying to be nice with the ACC. Oh, maybe they can do... Yeah, maybe there's this... Folks, learn the lessons from the Pac-12. Oh, this is way different. It does have differences. It does have differences. If ESPN opts in, then they have a deal till 2036. However, if they opt out, it's 2027. And then you're screwed. Then it's exactly like the Pac-12. When your biggest brands leave, you're in a world of hurt. And like I said with the Pac-12, why the Pac-12 was doomed. I said it time and time again. The Pac-12 was not going to survive. Everyone kept saying, oh, more than likely they'll find a deal. They'll get them going for the next 3-4 years. I kept trying to tell everybody that shit ain't going to happen. Why? Because you've got another conference willing to take teams. You know, I keep hearing, why couldn't the ACC survive? The Big 12 survive? Because there was no other power conferences willing to take teams. None. Not the Big 10, not the SEC, not the ACC, and not the Pac-12. But what made the Pac-12, what happened to them different than the Big 12, is because there was another conference in the Big 12 that was going and more than willing to take the right teams. Same thing applies with the ACC. Those few, very few teams that can get into the SEC, get into the Big 10, that's where they'll go. Everybody else, it's going to be a big scramble fest. Who can get into the Big 12? Who will ESPN and Fox allow into the Big 12? Because it's not all up to us. It's up to those two. Will they allow 2 teams? 4 teams? 6 teams? 8 teams? I don't know. Nobody knows. But it won't be everything that's left. Now, how do I know that's going to happen? Because, folks, I've seen it. We've all seen it. The ACC is not immune to that. I mean, did all these teams, did they get no teams from the Big East? Was there not upheaval before on the East Coast? Oh, yes, there was. It's not like they're immune to it. Shit happens over there. It's about to happen again. Here we go again. They're going to get Pac-12. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be anywhere between 2 and 4 schools left in the ACC. Maybe you could try to rebuild with something kind of like what Oregon State and Washington State are doing in the Pac-2 right now. Maybe in the ACC 4 can do something like that. But it's the same thing. All over again. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping this chain reaction. Once it started, it's going. The only thing you can do is try to jump off the ship before it blows up. So in closing, there's no salvation from the ACC Network. It's based off of old technology that's fading and dying and going away. There's no politicians that are going to save you. That's not going to happen either. There's not another media company that's going to come in and is going to offer you a deal that's going to be worth what the Big 12's deal is worth. We've seen that before. So they're going to have to decide, do you want to be able to compete or not? The only way that's going to happen, the next best thing to do, if you can't get to the Big 10, you can't get to the SEC, is come on over to the Big 12. It's not a bad conference, people. You still make good money. There's still a lot of room for upward mobility in the Big 12. You could be somebody in the Big 12. You'll find out a lot of schools that you never thought would be Big 12 schools. UNC, Duke. Slight chance for Miami. I doubt it, but slight. Virginia Tech, Louisville. Oh, yeah. It's going to happen. There's no stopping it. Sorry. I wish there was, but this is the world that was created. Not because of the Big 12, but because of the big time schools out there that wanted to consolidate into two conferences. And now that's what it is. And most of y'all, just like Big 12 teams, don't belong in that world. You don't have the value for it. But you do have the value for the Big 12. And that's something. And that's something you should be grateful for. Anyway, that's all I got on this crap. I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.